For Hanna-Barbera, you might expect me to talk about something like a TV special like The Flintstones Meet the Jetsons, a movie based on one of their shows like Scooby-Doo, or a giant crossover TV show like Laugh Olympics. Well, my answer to that is no, hell no, and almost, but no. Instead, I'm going to talk about something that used to be there. It was a ride at Universal Orlando, and it was called The Funtastic World of Hanna-Barbera. In the ride, Dick Dastardly and Muttley from Wacky Races has kidnapped Elroy Jetson. So Yogi, Boo Boo, and you go on a rocket to travel all around the Hanna-Barbera universe to stop Dastardly and save Elroy. For the ride, they wanted to have a movie quality for their animation, since, Hanna-Barbera's animation is not recognized as the best with its limited animation. So they got Kurtz and Friends with director Bob Kurtz, which the studio also helped make Jetsons the movie. Halfway through production, though, they resigned to do it because of creative differences. After that, they decided to call the next best thing they can get Sullivan Bluth Studios with director David Steinberg. During that time, they only got some of their animators because others were making Don Bluth's Rockadoodle in Dublin, Ireland. For the CG animation, they hired Rhythm and Hues Studios to do the Jetson scenes and also hired DeGraft Wardman to do the CG part of the Flintstones and the Scooby-Doo scene. To promote the ride, Universal released some VHS tapes of different Hanna-Barbera cartoons, which included some commercials of both the ride and Universal Studios Florida. The ride kept on going until October 20th, 2002, about more than a year after William Hanna's death, and was replaced with Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast, which is the same thing as the Funtastic World of Hanna-Barbera, but with Nicktoon characters. In 2006, Paramount Parks got the license to use the ride in their theme parks, but then it would get replaced with SpongeBob SquarePants 4D. It was also shown in Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom, Dollywood, and the park of MOA, now called Nickelodeon Universe. Man, Nickelodeon is taking over everything these days. Anyways, when the ride was in those parks, they gave it different names like Yogi's Big Rescue and Yogi's Wild Ride. In conclusion, Hanna-Barbera helped make animation an important field in the television industry. Not only that it made Saturday mornings an Hello?
Is this Animat?
Yeah, who is this?
Well, hey there, it's Yogi Bear.
What? Since when do you use a cell phone?
It was in a picnic basket that I found. I understand you're making one of your lookbacks on Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, and I'm almost to the end.
Really? Is it too late for a suggestion?
No, go right ahead.
Just to let you know, you can't have a look back on those two guys unless you include one of their movies.
Well, if you're asking for one that's based on one of their shows, well then you can forget it.
No sorry, pal. I'm talking about the one with the spider and the oinker.
The what?
I'm talking about... Hey!
I'm sorry, sir, but he'll have to call you later.
What are you doing?
Listen, Yogi, you can't go off stealing people's property like that. It's against the law.
Give me back that phone, you mother...
Yogi, what are you doing? No, stop! 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 Ah!
Hello?
Yogi wants me to tell you that you should talk about Charlotte's Web on your Lookback, Mr. Animat, sir.
Boo-boo! How'd you like Ranger Smith?
Medium rare, Yogi. I have to go now.
Of course! Why didn't I think of that? In 1970... In 1973, Hanna-Barbera released in theaters Charlotte's Web, based on the children's book of the same name by E.B. White. It's about a pig named Wilbur who has been chosen by Mr. Arable to die. But then his daughter, named Fern, comes in to keep him as a pet. Weeks later, Mr. Arable decides to sell him to Mr. Zuckerman, who loves to have some Wilbur bacon in the morning. So it's up to Wilbur, his friends, and a spider named Charlotte to save the piggy. This is the first of the only 3 films that Hanna-Barbera made that's not based on one of their shows. The other 2 films are Hades' Song and Once Upon a Forest. When the guys decided to make a film on the book, Joe Barbera went to Maine to talk to E.B. White. They mostly talk about what parts of the book they should not change at all, and also talked about parts that they put it on the maybe pile to change. When they called Debbie Reynolds to be the voice of Charlotte, not only that she said yes, but because she loved the book so much, she said that she'll do it for free. Originally, Tony Randall was supposed to be the voice of Templeton, but during the recording, he tried his usual sophisticated character style, but the director told him that he wanted Templeton to have more of a nasally voice, and then Randall said,
"Well, if you wanted a nasal voice for the character, you should have hired Paul Lynde to do the voice, not me."
So they ditched Randall and replaced him with Lynde. Yeah, you should have obeyed the director than telling him your opinion, Tony. The score and the songs of the film were made by none other than the Sherman Brothers, the guys who wrote the classic songs from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Mary Poppins, The Jungle Book, It's a Small World, and Journey into Imagination. When it was released on March 1st, 1973, the critics gave it pretty good reviews by saying that they hate the animation and the songs, but they liked it that the story sticks to the book. However, one person who really hates this movie with a passion that Bill and Joe would be embarrassed about is E.B. White himself. According to a friend of his, Gene Deitch, that Czech animator who did some Tom and Jerry shorts, has a letter from White's wife in 1977 that says, "We have never ceased to regret that your version of Charlotte's Web never got made. The Hanna-Barbera version has never pleased either of us. A travesty." She also said that she would have rather have Mozart music than having the songs by the Sherman Brothers. In 1994, when it was released on VHS, it surprised the marketplace by being one of the best-selling VHS films of the year. The film also regained its popularity when in 2003, Universal Pictures released Charlotte's Web 2, Wilbur's Great Adventure, the first ever straight-to-DVD sequel of an animated musical not made by Disney. And again in 2006, when Paramount Pictures released a live-action film based on the book. In conclusion, Hanna-Barbera helped make animation an important field in the television industry. Not only that it made Saturday mornings an important time for cartoons, but also showed that cartoons has its place in prime time as well. Every single show that I mentioned here and more can be viewed today on Boomerang or on Teletoon Retro if you're in the Canadian region. So pretty much, let's skip ahead to the top 10 best Hanna-Barbera franchises. Here we go. Number 10, Johnny Bravo. Number 9, Johnny Quest. Number 8, The Powerpuff Girls. Number 7, The Wacky Races. Number 6, Dexter's Laboratory. Number 5, The Jetsons. Number 4, Yogi Bear. Number 3, The Flintstones. Number 2, Scooby-Doo. And number 1, Tom and Jerry. Well, that's all there is to Hanna-Barbera. Join me next time as I talk about the animators that once ruled the industry. See you later, dudes.